know it is pretty late when it comes to me doing this particular live, but number one, I'm trying to keep myself from snacking. That's number one. And number two, I just felt pulled probably literally 15 minutes ago to start looking at the chart when it comes to the United States in 2023. Now, I'm not going over the entire country's chart. If you missed my lives in terms of what I talked about, maybe a couple sometime earlier this year, remember I said going into 2023, numerology speaking, we're going to be going into a 7 year as a whole when it pertains to just the world, or just the world pretty much, if we're talking about a numerology standpoint, because pretty much all I do is I take the year and just cut that down to a single digit, and then I see what that digit is in terms of numerology, and that's how I come to my conclusion. So this year we went through a 6 year, okay, and we know, or by now, we know that the 6 is tied to the energy of Venus. So this was a very Venetian tied styled year. Venus can also be tied to money. Venus can also be tied to wealth. The United States has Venus in its 7th house. It is in Cancer, which I don't necessarily know. Well, I'll have to take a look and see what type of strength does Venus in Cancer have. I don't really think it has that much strength. The thing is, though, the 7th house is naturally tied to Libra. So even if, Cancer Venus isn't necessarily that strong, with the United States Venus being in the 7th house, it can kind of like regain some of that strength. So we could have seen this year, like maybe people regain their strength in terms of leaning more towards having a relationship. Like, hey, it's not that bad. Hey, you can do this. Hey, you can do that. And I believe the United States' Venus is also conjunct its Jupiter. So this could have really been maybe an opportune time to come together with someone to possibly accumulate wealth. It doesn't necessarily have to be in a relationship. Okay. Even this year, we could have seen a lot of lawsuits and maybe wealth coming from those particular lawsuits. Okay. Those could have been the type of things that we could have seen this year. If we're going to be honest, this may even possibly been the year where it may have been a good time when it pertains to possibly getting married. I'm not saying that would be suited for everybody. Rather get married, or I guess get divorced, but maybe more so get married or get together with someone. Okay. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to, of course, go ahead and pull up the chart for the United States so that you guys can see what I am talking about. Okay, here, let me move this down. Move that down, and I'm going to share my screen. This video isn't going to be super long, by the way. Okay, there we go. As you can see, I have the chart pulled up when it comes to the United States' birth chart. Okay, well, this is just the details. I'm going to click on the chart in just a second. Okay, so you guys can kind of follow along with what I'm saying. So let me click on this and pull this back up. All right. Oh, that's not right. Well, that's me, but this is the United States natal chart. Okay, so you guys can see the natal chart of the United States right now. Okay. Of course, since I live in the U.S., I'm doing the U.S. either way. So as you can see here in the particular chart, July the 4th, 1776, birthplace, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Of course, that is the founding day of the United States. So this is what I was talking about from this year. This was a 6-year overall when it pertains to numerology, because we took 2022 and we broke it down to a single digit. So that gave us a 6. So you can see right here how the U.S. has Venus in the 7th house, even though it's in Cancer. Like I said, I'm not exactly sure the strength that Venus has in Cancer. However, the 7th house normally is tied to Libra, as I said before. So it had, even if it's not necessarily doing that great in Cancer, it could regain some of its power because of the house that it is in. And also it's conjuncting a Jupiter, and Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. That's good stuff. Okay. That can especially be good when it possibly pertains to children, or it can be good whenever it pertains to, I mean, there may even possibly been some big wins this year, possibly for people that were going through divorces. There could have been some big wins this year for like the custodial parents. Okay. So big payouts maybe could even possibly have came this year when it pertains to alimony, maybe child support or stuff like that. Okay. Because we're in that number 6 year. I'm only saying that because Venus is conjuncting Jupiter. Okay. So yeah, we can say, even though this year may have not necessarily seemed like it was all that great, energetically speaking, we can say it kind of was, maybe in some sort of a way. Okay, like I said, this could have possibly been the year where it could have been possibly a good time to maybe try to find a good relationship. Okay, because of the energy coming through with this Venus conjunct Jupiter. Like maybe even some people, maybe if you met somebody this year, it could even possibly have been a good time, or it could have possibly been maybe you were meeting your husband or meeting your wife, because Venus is the wife in a man's chart. Jupiter is the husband in the woman's chart. So husbands and wives could have been met this year. Now, I'm not necessarily saying this year that you could have possibly got together, because we know how sometimes things go. But who knows? You may come back to this person at a later date. Okay, so if you met somebody new this year in some sort of a manner, they may have possibly had some good qualities that may be that of a long-term relationship. So maybe you come back to that at a different time. So like I said, energetically speaking, this year may not have been bad. Okay, but now that we're going into the year of 2023, the energy is shifting. Now we're moving from a number 6, which is tied to Venus, and we're moving to a number 7. Okay, because we want to break the 2023 down to a single digit. So we get 7 once we break all that down. Now, of course, in numerology, the number 7 is tied to the moon. Now we know the moon is tied to Cancer. The moon is exalted in Taurus. Okay. Now the moon is at fall in Scorpio, since it's exalted in Taurus, and Scorpio is just the other side of the street neighbor. Okay. I talked about that before. We also know that moon is in detriment in Capricorn, because since the moon is at home in Cancer, okay, we know Cancer's opposite street neighbor. Even if you look at this chart, the opposite street neighbor of Cancer is Capricorn. So Moon has some issues functioning in Capricorn. Moon will have some issues functioning in Scorpio. Now, since Aquarius technically is naturally ruled by Saturn, we might have to possibly include Aquarius in that, but I'll have to check on that, because Aquarius does have a co-ruler, which we know is Uranus. Okay, but I would assume that Aquarius, a moon in Aquarius could have maybe some of the same difficulties that a moon in Capricorn energy may have as well. Maybe not necessarily as harsh, because again, if we could say Saturn has two sides, light and dark. According to the book of rulership, they say the Capricorn is the darker side of the Saturn, and Aquarius is the lighter side. Now, of course, that can be up to anybody's interpretation, but I'm just telling you what the book of rulership says. If you don't believe me, it's on my website. Okay, in the cheat sheet. Sorry, I have my retainers in the section where I posted all of the sheets that you can look at for astrology. It's in there. I don't know what page, but it's in there. Okay, so with us going into a 7-year, we can say that the United States now, well, since this year, the United States was operating more out of its Venus. Now the United States is probably going to be operating more out of its Aquarius moon energy. Now, based on what I just said, we know that, Aquarius is tied to Saturn. Okay. Saturn and the moon ain't really dancing. They're not really jiving like they would want. And it could be because maybe Saturn doesn't appreciate the shiftiness, maybe in some sort of a manner, of the moon, because of the fact that the moon can be unsure of itself, in my opinion, because of the fact that it's moving so much. So the moon is on its wave of emotions, and you kind of just don't necessarily know. You're just trying to feel its way. The moon is just trying to feel its way through. So it's not really constant in terms of how Saturn can be when it possibly pertains to its feelings. Now, next year, we could even, or my opinion would be, maybe more detached than ever before, especially when it possibly pertains to emotions. And the United States has its moon in the third house, which is naturally tied to Gemini. Gemini is also tied to Mercury, which is tied to the intellect. Okay, so thought patterns. Okay, we can say thought patterns, we can say analysis, we can say analytical minds when it pertains to the world. I hate to say it, it may be quite dark. Okay, I wouldn't necessarily say it would be a good time when it pertains to having children. That's my opinion. Okay, so maybe holding off to having kids could possibly be a good thing, or just for right now, because of course, moon is the womb as well. Moon is tied to women. Wouldn't even be surprised if we see some sort of revolution that may possibly come about whenever it pertains to women, or it could be in reverse. Now, I guess we could say maybe Aquarius is like the revolutionary in some sort of a manner, but Aquarius is also tied to internet. It's also tied to science. My opinion, there may be a lot of misdiagnoses coming in this next year, leading to possibly prescriptions being given out that are incorrect because of a misdiagnosis, possibly. Okay, don't quote me on this, and I'll tell you why in a second, because I did skim over this chart a little bit. Okay, but possibly something about the polar ice capades. We'll have to see, or I'll have to see about that. But for some reason, even though it's pretty warm in my house right now, for some reason, it's like my hands are just cold. Okay, not literally cold, but it's almost like I can feel the coldness whenever it pertains to hands. So maybe some issues when it pertains to import, export. It may have something possibly to do with maybe weather or something like that, something geographically, or it may possibly be something tied to, hopefully not some other sort of disease. But I just said that I do feel like there's going to be some misdiagnosis somewhere, maybe in large amounts, which I don't want that to be the case, but I'm not going to rule that out. Okay. But we see that the U.S. has its moon hitting Mars, Venus, and Jupiter. Okay. Now, the U.S.'s Mars is in Gemini. Right now, Mars is actually retrograding in Gemini. Okay. So we could possibly say like the transit Mars is kind of like sitting on top of its natal Mars. But even outside of that, with Mars being in Gemini, okay, it could be like a so-so type of placement, could be something that you could work with. The thing is, Mars is in the seventh house. The seventh house, again, like I said, is tied to Libra. So that would make Mars be at detriment in Libra. So we could possibly say in some sort of a manner that Mars is kind of losing its strength. The great things when it pertains to Mars, the go-getter, the passionate one. Okay. Competition is not bad. I could possibly see us losing that a little bit, in my opinion. Even though I said like women-led revolutions, but there's this other side to it that I feel like in some sort of capacity, women may start to kind of like give up, kind of feeling like, what's the point of me putting so much passion, putting so much effort into possibly marriage? Because it is in the seventh house of relationships and business partnerships and one-to-one. So we may definitely see a big shift, not just a tiny shift. We may see a big shift from not just one particular group of people. We may see a shift happening from women or feminine people with a lot of feminine energy. We may see a shift from them from all different backgrounds, and it may be shocking. Hence the possibly, I hate to say it, hence the possibly the energy of falling into depression, sadness, because that detach is, unfortunately, it feels like people are going to be going more towards being detached and thinking that, oh my God, it's so cool to be detached. And maybe that's where the misdiagnosis is coming from, because maybe people are going to the doctor and they're not necessarily being honest about their symptoms, and the doctors are just like giving them stuff so that you can like shut up, which is terrible. But like I said, I'm not going to rule that out. Okay. And let's take a look at let's take a look at the Aquarius moon degree. Okay. The moon is on the 27th degree of Aquarius. Now, the 27th degree, if I'm not mistaken, I think is a Gemini degree. Oddly enough, it's in the third house. Okay. So honestly, this upcoming year could be a good year when it pertains to maybe research. Okay. I don't know, even internships, maybe whenever it pertains to like hospitals, doctors, because we're going to need those. Even though we know healthcare is always going to be a big thing. I think I talked about this maybe 2 years ago, where I said healthcare jobs are going to be in more quantity. This may start that next year. Okay. It may have already kind of happened a little bit this year, but I would say next year is definitely going to be something when it pertains to the mass amounts of people migrating over to healthcare, health industries. Okay. Maybe even a mass exodus when it pertains to teachers. So leaving teaching, going over to healthcare. What about the children? So that's why I say I don't necessarily think it's going to be, it doesn't seem like it would be a good time right now to have a child. And honestly, starting right now, I don't necessarily feel like would be a good time to have a child, your first child or another child, because it doesn't seem like that the energy is in a good spot where your child is going to be able to thrive the way that you want them to. Okay, because it's almost like where's everybody going? Where are all the people going that's going to, be the next instructor of like maybe the next Van Gogh, the next Picasso, the next Einstein? Where are all these people going? They don't want to be bothered, because people are becoming maybe more detached. People may be becoming more selfish. Okay, that's why I said I would say probably next year, if we're being honest, with the moon being Aquarius, dating is probably just going to be a waste of your time, in my opinion. And I'm not saying it's going to be for everybody, but as a collective, it really may be a waste of your time. Okay. Some may even try to go the route of trying to get back in touch with like their high school sweethearts, childhood sweethearts. I don't know about that. To be honest, because I do feel some people are going to go that route, because the loneliness is going to kick in, and it's like, I'm going to start hitting up people. But another thing as well, again, with Aquarius being tied to technology, what I say, science. Hold on, I got to pull up my sheet. Where is it? Okay. The inventor, the scientist, the astrologer, the advisor, the internet, the computers, the engineer, the author, which I kind of already said that next year may be a good year, or did I miss that? Anyway, next year could be a good year when it possibly pertains to writing. Okay. I mean, honestly, some really good works, maybe some works that are very future forward, or maybe some good writings that will stand the test of time and blow up in a few years could be written next year. So if you are a writer, it may benefit you to aim for putting it out there next year. But again, like I said, I know I took down the live where I talked about this. Once I go through and I find the live that I'm talking about, I will let you guys know. Okay, because again, I said journalists, or maybe I said this on my Twitter, either way, journalists, and I said we may be back to a time where you're getting your news from the radio. Like maybe back in the 50s or back in the 60s, they had the radio, everybody sitting around the radio. You're trying to figure out what's going on. I'm not saying it's going to go that, archaic, but something like that may come up because there may be a little bit of needing to step back and not be so engrossed whenever it pertains to the internet. Because my opinion, again, with Moon being in Aquarius, you're going to see some very dark, cold stuff, I feel like, on the internet next year. Okay. Thank you, Lisa. I need to finish those, by the way. I have not finished it, especially the third one, the third installment. I finished it. I just haven't edited, and I need to go back and reread the second book to edit that, because I know it probably sounds crazy because you guys know how I write. So I got to go back and re-edit that. I got to go back and re-edit that because some of the stuff that they helped me with and some of the stuff I put in there, I'm like, okay, that doesn't really make any sense. So I'll go back and edit that probably when I get a chance. But, either way. So very futuristic writings, I feel like, is coming. I mean, I know journalism right now, they're saying it's like a decline, but I don't necessarily feel like it's going to be a decline for long when it pertains to true journalism, not like non-biased journalism that may seem like, wow, like you have no feelings towards this matter. No, I don't. So that type of journalism we may see a rise in. Okay. So that will be interesting to see. So, I would say journalism or news sites that aren't really giving you the news, even though Aquarius in some sort of a manner, can kind of be tied to the celebrity industry, that may start to dwindle a little bit. And that's another thing as well. Celebrities may start to dwindle a bit starting next year. It's already happening, but you may see them panicking more than ever starting next year. Okay, the aesthetic, or what is the word I'm thinking about? Not the aesthetic, just the push for wanting to know about them. It's not really gonna be there, possibly how it was. I mean, hey, some of you don't count it out. Some of you may even possibly end up dating somebody, or communicating with someone who could have been a pretty decent celebrity at one point, but guess what? Their star has fallen. So we may see celebrity industry trying to commingle amongst us common folk. Well, they'll have to come talk to you guys because I'm busy. But I can see that happening. Okay. Again, with this being tied to the scientists, I talked about this before a year ago, whenever the hell it was. Some of you have been around long enough. I ain't lying. I said the brainiac is coming through, but I also said we can find more people coming up in Congress, House of Representatives, any Senate, anything like that, where they are cold, they are detached. Okay, which would suck because in some way you do want your politicians, your representatives to have a sense of empathy. I think that's going to kind of dwindle a little bit based off of what's coming up. Okay, it may, like I said, I just get like the brain, and there's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. I mean, there is nothing wrong with that. But like I said, it becomes an issue whenever you start introducing laws, whenever you start introducing bills. And it's almost just like, how could you introduce such a bill that is so cold and so unethical? That's where we may have some issues. Okay. We'll just have to see, because Aquarius can be very future forward. So this may not necessarily happen exactly next year, but it will be sprinkles of this, I would say, you will see next year. So don't be surprised if you see more younger people coming up in the government, but they're more detached. Not saying that the politicians that we have now are not detached, but we may be going into a period where the representatives are more so for my community only. Who gives a damn about everybody else? I'll obliterate everyone else just for my own community. But again, some of you, like I say, have been around long enough. I remember a podcast episode that I did probably in 2018 where I said we have to be careful because the next Hitler is coming up from underneath the ground. Like, he's coming. I wasn't joking about that. I've made mention of that before, and I'm saying it again. It's like he's already being unearthed. He's already being bred in some sort of a manner. But I've been on it for about 4 years. I've been on it. Okay. So, and I said it before with the election of Biden and Kamala. That's unfortunately what we're heading to. Unfortunately, don't want that to be the case. But what can we do? But either way, so the internet, I would say, is not necessarily going to be a good place next year because, again, with it being the number 7 is also tied to spiritual lessons. So America is about to go through a spiritual lesson next year. Now we see Moon is touching Mars. Mars could possibly mean war, but it doesn't have to be the literal thing. It could be some sort of war when it pertains to I don't know, intellect, capacity, hopefully not a war when it pertains to children. Or again, like I said, things are going to get a little bit out of control, possibly when it pertains to communities going against other communities. So it's like, I wouldn't necessarily say call it a civil war. I wouldn't necessarily call it that, but it kind of, I don't know the proper word to describe it as, but it feels like that. Community attacking this other community because you're different, because you don't agree, or whatever the situation is, like it possibly some sort of manner, it gets out of control. Okay. AI may not necessarily be, AI could be coming in mass amounts next year, but we could even possibly say there could be some AI things coming that will not be our friends. And these may be things coming to us that they may say that we need. And this may be something tied to schooling or something like that. Speaking of schooling, it would be interesting, the lawsuits that will actually be coming next year when it pertains to school. Okay, that'll be interesting to see. I don't know exactly what they're going to be suing for, but there's some sort of processing when it pertains to schooling that is going to be in court in litigation. Okay. Remember, I think I said as well before on one of those lives where I said, hey, we could be coming in a time where homeschooling, or if you are a teacher and you ain't really digging the classroom like that, you could make bank being a private tutor, because we could possibly be coming into that time where people will possibly be more attracted to maybe homeschool or just schooling where it's just very compact, I guess, in a manner when it pertains to the amount of students that they have. Montessori schools. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but for some, maybe that could actually be in demand. Okay, it's possible. It's possible. Okay. But let's take a look at the degree. So scrolling down so you guys can see what I'm talking about. As you can see right here, maybe it's too small. Try to make it bigger. I know you can see that. It may look a little blurry, but I think it's just because the screen. Okay, you can see it good. So you can see right here, the moon is at 27 degrees Aquarius. So the 27th degree of Aquarius says spoiled, irregular life, weakness for wine and gambling, excess, addicted mind. Things that I pretty much have already covered. Okay, so here's another thing that I don't really like. Another thing that I don't really care for is, instead of people leaving relationships, they stay, and they're trying to find their peace of mind in a bottle. We may see possibly more issues coming when it pertains to maybe gambling debts in partnerships. like partners not necessarily paying their way in some type of a manner because they're trying to get rich. Because I think moon is passive income. Okay. And by the way, moon can be passive income, and maybe, well, yeah, I was going to say maybe second house, but no, I would say moon is probably passive income. This could be for your own future reference. If you possibly maybe want to look at where you could have passive income, look at your moon. As you can see, the United States' moon is in what? In the energy of technology, the scientists, so they can make passive income or income that can keep the damn lights on when it comes to scientific discoveries, even if it possibly has to be stolen from somebody else. Who cares? For them, this is passive income. This is how we need to keep the lights on. Okay. And I hate to say it, passive income possibly from war. This is a dirty, dirty world, people. And the moon is below the horizon. Okay. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the moon may also be tied to government as well. So again, dirty, dirty world. It was like this since the beginning of time. What that date say? Thursday, July the 4th, 1776. So passive income has possibly been coming from these particular ways since the beginning of time, the dawn of time. Lawsuits, war, technology, discoveries tied to medicine and such, even if it's stolen, booyah. The United States is passive income. Whereas if it was maybe if the moon was in Cancer, we could say passive income can maybe come from some tied to women, nursing, hospitality. So those may be big businesses that the United States may invest in, but they don't want to invest in anything else unless it's technology, discovering some sort of illness or some sort of cure, okay? And possibly war. Okay? There's a little bit of stay here, but that's not making the big bucks. I think making the big bucks in the ones I just explained. Okay. So again, like I said, if you yourself want to possibly look at where you may be able to make a passive income, look at your moon placement. Of course, aspects to other placements do matter. And this is just my opinion, guys. But yes, passive income, or maybe even getting in a career that you may not really like, but shit, it pays the bills. Moon, 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 moon. Okay. I'll go over some other things later because I want to talk about the second house, because the second house is, we know second house can be tied to your account balance, your wealth. The eighth house could be like your debts you owe to other people. I think credit card debt may be seen in the eighth house as well. Okay. And with United States having Mercury retrograde, it gives me that energy. I'll pay you back tomorrow. The United States probably has so many loans with other countries that we probably don't even have a clue that we have with other countries. And they couldn't even possibly be smaller countries that you would be like, why the hell are you getting a loan from them? And we're like swallowing their country whole. Doesn't matter. We are the land of I'll pay you back. But the countries do it because guess what? Are you going to turn down a superpowers credit card? No. Okay, it's like the United States has one big ass Amex bill that never gets paid in full. However, they keep being able to borrow money because, hey, they're like, we're good for it. We'll give it back. Or shit, we will give you something when it pertains to war. We'll invest in your war because we know that money we invest in your war is going to come back to us. And then look, the debt is wiped clean. Okay. But anyway, so you have to be careful about the moon here in Aquarius. They're actually, speaking of that, there may be some sort of challenges around on the internet, on social media sites that may revolve around stealing. Hopefully it's not young kids doing a challenge in terms of like stealing something from possibly their mother or their parents, okay? Like, going in their purses. I hope not, but I'm not going to put it past this type of energy, okay? We may have a lot of videos where people are trying to do some sort of drinking challenge, because remember, the United States' moon is on a degree where you're drinking in excess. So liquor sales, I could tell Mercury must be inching towards retrograde soon. Liquor sales, okay, could be going up. maybe even by 9% in 2023. Okay. But like I said, I hope this is not a situation where instead of people leaving unhealthy situations, they turn to the bottle or they turn to drinking. Okay. Because again, with everything being more so attached and us possibly going into a particular energy where it's more so about self, you may find people staying in relationships just for them. But they're lying and saying, "Oh, I'm totally here for you." That's baloney. They're here for themselves because they've sat back and they've thought about, what do I have to gain? What do I have to lose? It's not about if I'm happy or if I'm in love or if I'm not. We may be going into that particular type of vibe. I said that as well when I said I can see marriages going up, but I also see an energy coming through where people will be marrying for the wrong reasons. But for some people, I just said that may be the right reason. Getting married, and I really don't give a damn about if I'm in love or what. I don't care. Okay, I just want this. I just want to be in this particular type of relationship, this particular type of marriage. Okay, but it becomes an issue because I feel depression, sadness is kicking in, feeling that stuck type of energy. Where and some of you, I hate to say it, your mom is going to become quite overbearing. Or it'll be the opposite. If your mom has been overbearing, you may find you and your mom becoming detached. Okay. Third house can be short distance trips. Third house is a very moving type of energy. Think about it. The third house vehicles are in the third house. So there could be a move. There could be distance that may be created when it pertains to a mom, especially if you have an overbearing mom. So, some of you guys, you could possibly be in a different space when it pertains to your mother, or this could possibly pertain to you when it comes to you being a mom if you have kids. You know what I'm saying? It's also unfortunate as well because I see adoption dropping. It's like I said, people just don't care. They're becoming more detached. Some of you feel this. It's not like I'm telling you something that you don't already see or you don't already feel. Because some of you probably have felt this for some time like I have. We're coming into an energy where it's just like, people are becoming more selfish, more for themselves. And that's why I said at the beginning, it just seems like it's becoming more dark. So people will isolate themselves possibly more. Not really by choice. Almost feel like I'm having to force myself. I'm having to force an isolation here because of the type of people. Okay. Now, Aquarius also, because it's naturally tied, Aquarius is, naturally, I think, over the 11th house, older siblings. Okay. Communities, groups. Okay. Some people may detach from their groups in some sort of a manner and identify with a completely different group because they just want to find a sense of belonging. Again, that isolation, that depression, that's kicking in. And so we can find people. It's like I said, the United States is going through a spiritual awakening. It's like in some sort of a manner, the United States is going through like a reset in a way. So, it may seem like a lot of people don't know who the hell they are. And that may be true. And we may just have to let them have at it. So I would say definitely going into this next period of time, and I don't know how long this period of time is going to last. Okay. Because those of you that have been around long enough, when it pertains to spiritual lessons, you know that shit can take longer than a year. Okay. So this may be something that may take a couple of years. Who knows? But spiritual lessons can take some time. And that's what the United States is about to go through. And it's going to be, and if we're going to be honest, when the United States goes through something, it affects a lot of other places too. So we'll have to see, how that goes. But let's take a look at the planets that the moon will be aspecting, and they're all in the 7th house. Remember, like I said, I don't think Mars really operates that great in the 7th house, to be honest. Okay, because like I said, naturally that's Libra's house. So, a lot of petty litigation as well. Okay. Scientists, some sort of scientist, maybe a big scientist, could be sued, or some sort of science corporation could be sued in some sort of a manner next year, maybe mid-June, late July, somewhere in there. We'll have to see. But let's look at Mars. I'll make it bigger so you guys can see. So the United States has Mars on the 21st degree of Gemini. So we're going to go take a look at that placement. I'm only looking at that particular placement because it's making an aspect to the moon, and next year will be a very moon-filled year for everybody. And you can look at your own chart or where your own moon is placed and try to get an idea of what next year could possibly be like in some sort of a manner. House placement does matter. Degree kind of matters, but I would say sign, house is the big thing. Okay. So Gemini 21 degrees is a degree of intelligence, martial riches, followed by waste, eccentric personality. So I just said, it may seem like a lot of people next year, they're coming across like they really don't know who they are. Okay. They were one way last week or last year. Now, all of a sudden, they are going around like a chicken with his head cut off, and you're trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Let them have it. They're trying to find themselves. Okay. The eccentric personality will possibly be more. Okay. I mean, I hate to say this as well. I hope not, but hopefully not violence towards people with eccentric personalities. We may possibly an aesthetic that was popular in the 60s. It may resurface. Okay, it may have possibly already resurfaced, but it feels like definitely next year it's resurfacing. You know, in my opinion, no offense to any of here, there's like a dullness to me with this moon in Aquarius. So it's just unimpressed. It's just dull. It's melancholy. It's that type of vibe. Okay. I would say because also musicians, music is probably going to change as well. Heavy metal may honestly be higher consumed. I don't listen to heavy metal, but this is just my opinion. Okay. But the genre of music that will possibly be quite popular is possibly going to change. But like I said, possibly, you know, well-known people or celebrities as a whole is going to change. A lot of these people just don't have the energy to maintain. So a lot of these celebrities, okay, will be things of the past, and they're panicking. They're probably panicking right now, but they'll definitely be panicking next year because they too will have to sit with themselves, especially if they happen to have moon in detriment. Now, you guys know we've read quite a few of those celebrities' charts, and quite a few of them got moon in detriment. So it will be interesting to see. Okay. We may even possibly have some sort of musician may have a mental breakdown, and we may unfortunately hear about it. Okay, like this person may be photographed in like an alley or something like that, or they may be photographed in a very very dark place or something like that, like an alley. Honestly, I hear an alley, or or you know, it may be one of those things where a celebrity that we may not even think they may possibly be caught buying drugs in an alley. Photo shoot, bing. Okay, this is just a sidebar. If some of you guys remember that I've talked about, what is it? Some of you guys, if you saw my Drake video, remember I said I kind of get the vibe that Drake is an informant? Earlier today, it came out that Drake is now a witness in a rapper's death. How ironic is that? And we kind of talked about that a little bit on his chart whenever I looked at it, when I said this guy seems like a snitch. So, we'll have to see how that plays out. You know? Oh, boy. That would be interesting to say the least. Oh, I keep doing that. Oops. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. Okay, exit. Okay, going back. Okay, so and also Moon is hitting Jupiter. Now we know Jupiter is exalted. I mean, the housing market may possibly go down, so that may be a good thing here. With Moon being, with Jupiter being exalted in um, Cancer, but you're gonna have to fight for it. You're gonna have to fight for them to go down on the price, but it probably may be more so late. Okay, unless it may be more so after Cancer season next year, where it may be a better time when it comes to buying a house. Maybe like late next year going into 2024. Okay, because 2024 will be a Saturn year. Okay, so 2024, everybody may be walking around like a damn zombie, feeling overworked. Okay, especially or massive layoffs in 2024 when it pertains to big corporations, specifically tied to beauty, clothes, fashion. Okay, that will be interesting. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see about that. I would also say that I hate to say it, escorts may possibly be popular. You know, another thing, maybe escorts are actually pretty popular in the United States because I'm looking at this Saturn and Libra making an aspect to Mars in Gemini. Another thing as well, I think twins are possibly a popular thing in the United States. My opinion. Okay. But anyway, like I said, I don't know if that's a thing. Like escorts are a big thing here. I don't go outside much. But if it is, I can see that. Because I think Saturn is exalted in Libra, or it might be Aries. I could be wrong about that. Hold on. I know I jumped ahead. I didn't try to. Yeah, Saturn is exalted in Aries. Is at fall no, Saturn is exalted in Libra at fall in Aries. Okay. So, but either way, so that would be interesting because it just feels like they're trying to, it doesn't really, it's like, they keep talking about trying to modernize the world. I don't know why I feel like the world's going backwards. You really get possibly what I'm saying, especially to the workforce once 2024 hits. But either way, let's look at Jupiter. Jupiter is on, and it's man. Okay, not only is Jupiter exalted in Cancer, but it's on the degree. I think I've seen that, 5 degrees Cancer, Jupiter is like super exaltation. Okay, like it's really doing something good. But let's see. The 5th degree, of Cancer. Sleek, chance, tactful, nice, but vain. Look at that makes sense. Nice, but vain, impractical, habit of excess. Yep. So we have excess, and then we also have excess here with the moon. Okay. So, my opinion, skin issues tied to the water, some sort of breakout tied to the water could definitely be coming because I'm actually hearing hyperpigmentation. Okay. I don't know where this is coming from. I don't know if Boulder, Colorado is about to be in the news soon, but we'll have to. Okay, we'll have to see. And it's kind of odd how it's like in a way, people in the United States are possibly like in a trance in a manner where they don't see anything else besides the state that they're in. Not me, but a vast majority of people, because guess what? They're in a trance. Especially when it pertains to, don't make me say it. Don't make me say it. Especially whenever it's pertaining to a particular color of people. You know what I'm talking about here. I've talked about it before. The moon is what color? Saturn is what color? So those particular groups of people are a little bit delusional, a little bit in a trance, and it's killing us. Okay? It's killing us. But whatever. What can you do? And then it looks like the moon is also hitting Venus, right? Venus is 3 degrees Cancer. Extravagant, reckless, prone to excess impulses. Okay. So we could say I think next year women are going to be more detached than the men, and it's going to hurt. It's going to possibly hurt the men because they're not understanding. But the shift is happening. Okay, remember I said woman-led movement, woman-led revolution. You know what I'm saying? Oh, as soon as I start talking about that particular group of people, then they want to drop out of here. Don't nobody care. You know, let's not be blind here. But either way, you know, they want to run from themselves as soon as you start talking about what it is. But keep on running. We'll see you next time. You'll be back. But anyway, so men are not necessarily going to understand why women are going to be as detached as they are. Okay. I mean, guys, I just think it just feels like it's coming to a point next year where women are going to be fed the hell up, but it's almost like we're switching places. Like the woman is becoming more of like the man's becoming more of like a woman when it pertains to maybe being a little bit more in their emotions. So you got to be mindful of that. Okay, maybe depression may possibly be seen more when it pertains to men than women if they possibly do a study, unless they've already did a study right now. You know what I'm saying? So more women probably going to be single, okay, or just decide to try to detach themselves. But you run into an issue if you are dealing with a man that is irrational, or for some reason their irrational side comes out whenever you're trying to detach. So you have to be careful, I would say, next year. And that's why I said, hopefully it's not a situation where people are stuck because of, you know, the people that they are worried about having to deal with, or they're just worried about the backlash. Hopefully that's not the case, but I can't rule it out, because next year is going to be a year of excess where everybody is trying to suppress their emotions, and because they're trying to do that more, it's going to get out of control. Next year needs to be a year where people just sit with their emotions and and just be okay with the fact that, hey, I feel sad right now. I don't like it. I am happy. I love that. You know, I'm angry. I don't like being angry. It's almost like people are going to want to ignore the fact that it's okay to have emotions. I think women are going to be doing this as well, but they may possibly have a better grasp on it than the men. So I don't know. It almost feels like the battle of the sexes a little bit. So we'll have to see how that possibly pans out. Okay. I already called it. Cheating is going to be rampant, but they're not going to leave. Financially speaking, it may not necessarily be, it may not necessarily be the best. Let's say that it may not necessarily be the best. It's going to be a very thinking type of year, but money will be made, but it's going to be wasted on bull crap. And that's going to be everybody as a whole, even the government is going to be wasted on bull crap. So saving money will be possibly kind of difficult, not because you can't, but because a lot of people are being way too impulsive. Also, the United States may stick its nose where it's not supposed to be stuck, and it possibly pertains to a war. Actually, my opinion, and based off what I'm seeing here, they've been secretly funding wars for a long period of time, but maybe coming up next year, some type of information may surface, okay, or something may possibly come up, you know, where it's going to like expose them for maybe not. But this is just my opinion. Okay. D1, to be honest with you, I don't really get an actual recession. It may feel that way because people can't hold on to their money, but the money will be made. The money will be there. It's just being spent on stupid stuff. So I don't necessarily really get recession. It feels more like people are spending money on shit that we don't need. Luxury items, luxury things, a luxury home that you know you don't want to pay for 15 to 30, 20 years, however long you got the mortgage for. Stuff like that. Furniture, okay? Tiny stuff like that where it's like you don't need to get a $5,000 piece of furniture. It's pointless, but you're not going to be able to tell people that because, again, people are trying to hold on. People are trying to show that they have wealth, and they may be broke as hell. So that's why I said the internet, it's already a dangerous place. But I would say next year is going to get even more dangerous, especially, like I said, I don't know if cryptocurrency, cryptocurrency especially. If it hasn't been hacked, it's going to be hacked pretty badly, probably at some point in the next year. Okay, so I would say don't be investing or trading on any type of sites that are not reputable, that are not, secure, super secure, like two-factor authentication secure. Not saying you have to do it, but if it's an option, okay, because maybe people could possibly lose a lot of money because guess what? Gambling. People want to get rich quick. That is going to be a theme next year because the energy is slowing down. And a lot of people aren't necessarily going to know how to deal with it. So you may possibly maybe see more musicians getting busted for drugs. And by the way, that may have already been something that the United States possibly, maybe they made their money through that, through musicians being some sort of avenue when it pertains to possibly drugs, mental health, propaganda. But I think it's more so drug propaganda than anything else, since the moon is touching Mars in Gemini. Gemini can be kind of like the drug dealers, especially with Mars being there. So it'll be interesting to see. Like I said, some of you, if you have favorite musicians, you may be surprised by some things that may possibly come out about them next year, because guess what? They feel it like I'm talking. The star is falling. They're trying to do something else. So they're trying to go underground. It's not like the government doesn't know, because I absolutely believe the government doesn't know. But the government gets pissed off when you don't give the government a cut. Okay? Look at who's it, Al Capone, or all those gangsters from like what, the 60s, the 50s, whatever. They didn't get caught until you start, not wanting to break off Uncle Sam some money. Then we got to come to your door. So, that's what we're looking at when it pertains to that. So that will be interesting. Okay, I kind of did a little bit about what I did a little bit on Young Thug's chart. Keep his ass in there, my opinion. Keep his ass in there, my opinion. Lock, throw away to keep. I wouldn't let him see a peak of sunlight because he is a menace to society. Don't let him out. I couldn't be the prosecutor. Okay, I couldn't do it because I'm going to nail his ass to the cross. But that's just me. But anyway, so let me see if you guys have any questions. Yeah, a $6,000 purse. Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that. Purses, shoes. People are going to be doing that because they're trying to keep up with appearances. Because like I said, that type of status symbol that used to come with being a celebrity, that shit doesn't matter. But for some reason to them, their brain is not processing it because they feel like that, it does matter, but it doesn't. The world is shifting. The world is changing. There's a new wave of people that's supposed to be coming through, but these are people that are more brainiacs. Look, I wouldn't even be surprised because also Aquarius and astrologers. Don't be surprised if you see more astrologers going mainstream, like they're being pushed mainstream in some sort of a manner. Okay. I wouldn't be surprised. Or you may see former astrologers or something like that. Now they're becoming like, I don't know, celebrities, well-known people, whatever the hell you may want to call it. Stuff like, okay, scientists, all that, the weirdos. Nothing wrong with being a weirdo. I have no problem being a weirdo, okay? But I can see that kind of happening. But then you run into a situation that now those people whose stars are falling, now all of a sudden they want to try to be the weirdos. Now they want to try to fit in because, again, their brain isn't processing the manner of it's over with. It's time for you to go. Your time is over. It's ran its course. Do something different. you may see more of these people going back to work like us. And you'll be like, would you look at that? Now look who's sitting next to me. Okay, so a big energy is coming up where a lot of people are going to have to humble themselves, and it's not going to look pretty. Okay, it's not going to look pretty at all. So, me, I'll just be sitting back watching, making my predictions somewhere behind the scenes so no one can find me. Even you guys don't really pay attention to my predictions. So I'm not worried about the world paying attention to my predictions. So we'll still be here on prime time, I guess, doing this in the future. Okay, unless something changes. But you guys know, I always let you know if something's going on. But let me see if you guys have any questions. Yeah, rent is high as hell. Rent is really high. Okay, and I don't necessarily see it going down anytime soon. And that, that's unfortunate, of course, because it's just going to make it difficult for people to move out. It's going to be like, damn, I have to move out, pay my own bills, not split the bills, and I still got to eat and take care of myself. No, I'll stay in misery. I don't want that to be the case, but I see a lot of people doing that. But, hey, I've been there. Okay, good question. When will we go to new money, a different currency? Good question. What is currency ruled by? Let me look it up and see if it's in the book of rulership. Okay, it is late. Why are we up so late? But anyway, currency. Let me see if it's in here. It may be in here. See, my God. Okay, currency. I feel like, okay, currency is second house, Venus. So let me look at the chart on this one and see what we got. The United States, okay, Venus. Oh, okay, that's interesting. May, okay, who answered that? I'm pretty sure I know who you are. Okay, anonymous. I'm just gonna start calling you anonymous, even though I know exactly who you are. Miss, where are you? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd you ask that question at? I think I scrolled past. There you are. Anonymous. There it goes. So that actually may possibly happen. They may start talking about it this upcoming year because currency is ruled by Venus. So we see that the moon is contacting Venus in Cancer. Okay. So that may actually start to happen more this year. The United States second house of currency is tied to Saturn. Oh, yeah. Oh, something's burning. Not literally, but something is going to burn. Look, the United States currency, or the United States second house, which is what currency is tied to, it has Saturn exalted, which we're fine. We're fine with Saturn exalted in the 10th house. Can you not see why fashion designers, anybody that does anything tied to the arts or Libra, get big sums of money? Look, because the United States currency is exalted in the house of, like, in the sign of fashion, makeup, jewelry. That would be the thing that people, not the United States though, that people could do here that could be the big shebang. Because guess what? We are a country of excess. People are going to buy, even if the purse is $50,000. The line is going to be out the door because it's a status symbol. Okay. Me, I would never. But the exalted Saturn looks like it's squaring Venus, or I might be wrong. Let me see. Or it may not be making any aspect. Let me take a look. Okay, no, good. Okay, it's not squaring Venus. It looked like it was. This chart is like, kind of hard because Venus and Jupiter are right on top of each other. I guess I might be having to get glasses soon. But we're going to hang out. We're going to hang on as long as I can. So, like I said, it could possibly be coming at some point next year. But either way, if you want to make income, I guess, well, I would say the biggest income make people, I would say probably in the US, are tied in Libra. Fashion, beauty, jewelry. Those are the biggest ones for the United States. But it ain't going to last forever because Saturn is squaring Jupiter. Okay? It ain't going to last forever. So probably this next decade, they should fade out, my opinion. So we'll have to see what fashion looks like once we hit about 2030, which it should be actually quite different. Maybe not super different, but it should be quite different. I wouldn't even be surprised if these fashion brands are going to start going home in terms of going with aesthetics that are from way, 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 way back in the past. Like we may be seeing 2008 aesthetic coming up soon. 2008, maybe even 2010, before that, 2001, 2000, be prepared because that's possibly coming up. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to bring back the flip phone if they haven't done it already. That may be a zinger because it just feels like the United States is going to have to go back at some point because they're only going to last for so long. So those fashion, not just celebrities too, now the fashion brands may be shaking in their boots. But like I said, as far as the currency goes, I don't know if it's going to be a brand new spanking currency all the time because, again, with the currency house being exalted in Libra, the dollar ain't going to go nowhere, okay? But they may have like a secondary something, but, it ain't going to go nowhere. So don't get your hopes up, but there could be some changes, okay? There actually may be some changes when it pertains to the workforce in terms of employers, employees, I guess, when it pertains to money, the money system, I guess the system that they have in place when it pertains to how they pay their employees, that may change. But that may not be until 2027 or 2025. Okay. Oh, shoot. Between 2025 and 2027. Sorry, I forgot a date. Okay. I'm pretty sure that currency for the U.S. is going to stay. And in a manner, it's kind of weird how people are like possibly trying to get rid of the dollar. That may, getting rid of the currency may work for another country, another nation. But again, our currency will be exalted. It's not going to go anywhere. It's still going to hold its weight in some sort of a manner. Even if it possibly drops, it could go back up or rise again. So to answer your question, is there going to be another currency in some form, but don't bank on it. Okay? Don't bank on it. Mm-hmm. I lost my thing. Okay. There we go. Yeah, 2001, 2008, 2010, that aesthetic is coming. Probably faster than what we remember. Oh, I did not know that. See, because I don't have a flip phone. So thank you, Christine. I had no idea. I don't think that's gonna I don't necessarily think that's going to happen. Okay, not completely. I know it's wishful thinking, but I don't think so because we gotta think about it, guys. Think about in a way how much stuff you can hide with cash. I mean, just think about it. Think about it. You go to a completely crypto system. Oh, that's gonna crash in a day. And it's going to take away that that energy of being able to hide the money. You can't go hide in the crypto under the mattress. No. And we all know the elderly ain't going to go for that. So I don't know if that's going to happen. Like I said, there may be a secondary something, but no, I don't think it's going to happen. I think I said that before, but people don't believe me, and that's fine. Okay. Let me see if there's any other questions that I missed. Oh, I did not know there. Is there a big jump to homeschooling? I don't know. It's possible. I haven't been looking. See, y'all giving Lisa. I ain't never heard this movie ever. Okay. Never heard the movie Parable of the Sower. Never heard of it. Oh, who are Nisa? Yep, you would be correct, my friend. That would be so correct. Uh-huh. Nisa, I ain't never seen you over here before. Maybe you just snuck in. Well, hello. Hello to new people. I suck at doing that. Civil War. Michelle is not gonna leave Barack Obama. That would be the day. Oh my God, how amazing. Lisa, good for you. That is good. Look, hey, 6 months ago. That sounds about right. Okay. Oh, Lisa, you did say hello. Oh, I couldn't sleep either. Okay, nobody. Do you guys have any questions? Okay. If not, we're going to jump off this one. And then, of course, if I need to find those lives that I did, I will, because I still have predictions to do. But you guys know that takes time because I throw out a lot of information whenever I do my predictions for the world. So I need a couple of months, honestly. I can't pop those out. It's too difficult. I literally need to sit down. It damn near needs to be in the dark so I can just think. Okay. Good for you, Lisa. I'm gonna be looking for that now. Now that you said something, I guess I'll have to go. Is it a book? Okay, if it's a book, I'll have to go see if I can find the book. Oh, Fabi, I did not see your question. I mentioned layoffs in retail. Any positive aspects in specific industries? Yes, you probably missed it when I talked about this earlier. But I think I said health is going to be a big one. What else did I say? Snapped. I forgot, but I remember talking about it at the beginning. So I think I did a live where I said careers attached to Virgo were going to be good. Okay, see, my memory is kicking in. It's late, but I'm actually not that tired. So, Virgo, I'm going to go the careers tied to Virgo. I think my opinion will be the positive ones. I'm pretty sure I said something about that. I just forgot to write it down on my website. Okay, so Virgo, careers tied to Virgo, animals, so veterinarian. Okay. I did not know the army is ruled by Virgo. I did not know that. So the army is possible. Bookkeepers or librarians, which is not shocking. So, indie bookstores will probably see a good amount of people coming through next year. Okay, because that's part of the detachment energy coming through. So there is a good thing when it pertains to detachment. More people may start to read. I'm good with that. Let's see. Trying to see what else is on here. Like bistros. I don't know, Lisa. It's in the Book of Rulership. Page 337. The first column on the left. It says army affairs is ruled by Virgo. Don't know why. But well, oh yeah, like it's bistros, little cafes, coffee shops, maybe. Stuff like that. Scientists. You guys are writing this down because I'm not. Or like I said, you can find this book on my website under the little cheat sheet stuff. Okay. So like I said, accounting, we have veterinarians, we have the army, we have librarians, we have like bistro, coffee shop, indie bookstores, okay, chemists or scientists. If you are good at organizing closets or organizing, honestly, virtual assistants will probably be pretty big, okay, or I would say not pretty big, a good career for next year, okay, or coming up. Clerical work, administrative type of stuff. So data entry, I would probably say. Yeah, because I think Virgo may rule fashion. No, it rules closets. That don't count. Oh, clothing dealers. Okay, well, But I would say clothing where it's actually being sewn by hand. So resellers or like fast fashion, I think they're going to plummet because we're going to be possibly going into a time where people really want the stuff made by hand. Okay. I wouldn't even be surprised if like bohemian, whatever style, if you make that type of stuff by hand, I think your time is coming. Okay. The CDC, I think maybe a Virgo. Like it seems very Virgo type of energy. So, stuff like that. Okay. Editors, which I said journalists, kinda. Clairvoyant people who have a gift for clairvoyance, actual clairvoyance, not this hoopla that you somehow happen to listen to somebody else's channel and all you did was reword it and made it your own prediction. No, ma'am. No, sir. Not that type of, that ain't clairvoyance. But can you, this is a sidebar. Can you guys believe, again, I was minding my business the other day. Okay. I was minding my business the other day and I was on YouTube and I was watching something totally unrelated whenever it pertains to like, spirituality. And then a video started playing in the background because I let it play. And this is a spiritual person who has a lot of followers and they did the same video I did. Why the hell did they say exactly what I said? I almost peed on myself out of anger. And it sounds disgusting, but I was so mad. And I'm like, well, ain't that about a kick in the nuts? Okay. Like, come on. But whatever. I ain't going to say what the reading was because then you'll probably go figure out who the person is. But I didn't like that. Okay. I'm like, well, what would you look at that? Anyway, but it was a recent reading actually that I did. So that was shocking. Back to the careers. So I'm off of the sidebar. So like I said, data entry, housekeeping, by the way, will be a big one. First responders. That's interesting. I can see that. First responders. So in terms of retail, I get like grocery stores, I think they're going to be fine. Now, the other retail, when it pertains to like, possibly clothing and stuff like that, that may phase out. They may be less, okay? But groceries are ruled by Virgo. So workers in those particular, companies will be fine. They actually may get an increase because they're going to realize how difficult people may start to become even more starting next year. So pay increases may happen for people that are in groceries, working in grocery stores. Don't knock it now, because some of them are going to make some good money. And you're going to be like, wow, you make that working at the grocery store? Yes, I do. So yeah, I think that'll be a good one. Or, honestly, personal shoppers seem like it'll be a thing. But we'll have to see. Not teeth, hygienist. It's so weird. I talked about skin. I did talk about that. So we talked about libraries. I said housekeeping. That's on here as well. Illustrators. I did not know that. So that's a good one. Of course, nursing. I said it. I said health is going to boom like a lot. So I guess now would be the time if you really want to get into the healthcare field. Now would be the time. Doctors, physicians in general. Didn't I say something at some point about wet nurses being a thing again? We'll have to see because sanitary and stuff like that. But I still hold on to that prediction because I can see some more difficulties coming when it pertains to lactation, which I actually talked about. So yeah. We'll hold on to that one. Stenographers, statisticians, Lord Jesus, it's hard to talk with these retainers in. I'm tutors, booyah, call that. Virgo was skills, so I would say, to be honest, guys, I would say less about the college degrees, more about the people with the skills. I'm not saying your college degree won't matter, but people with skills, Virgo skills, skills of the hand will be in high demand. So get those certificates, okay? Especially when it pertains to analytics or data. Get those certificates because they're going to be seeking you out like big time. And you may not necessarily need a college degree, or you may not need a super advanced level degree. So yeah, that'll be good. See, I did not know that. I learn something new every day. Thank you, D. I had no idea. Yes. Oh, yeah, they're coming. I hope so, because I think it'll be a good balance, I think. Okay. Pardon me. Welcome on in, Roberta. Oh, it's snowing. Is there any real threat from Russia to the United States, or any real threat from Russia to who? Because the other day I saw on the news that Japan is spending billions for like artillery or something like that for war. I think they're building a ship or something, or trying to up their navy. And I think I mentioned that. I think I mentioned this already on one of them lives. It's probably in one of these books somewhere I got thrown all over my office that I said something about Japan. I don't know. I'll have to dig, because, I have a lot of stuff in here that just has predictions in them. It might be in one of these books somewhere. I'll have to find it one of these days, but I can't think of where I put it. Wait, where the hell did I write these predictions? Oh, man. Okay, so I found my prediction book. Was this from last time? Maybe. Wow, how far? I don't know how long ago I wrote these predictions. Okay, I'm not gonna turn the camera on now, child, because I might scare you. But this one prediction, I said some sort of fatal attack on Japan and something about the Japanese prime minister. This had to be like last year, if I remember correctly. Because this says, when was Mercury retrograde? Hold on now. This was during the last Mercury retrograde. Hold on. This might have been last year, or a year before that. I haven't written this book in a while. Libra. Was it 2021? Yeah, this was last year. I wrote this, maybe a little bit before Mercury retrograde, because I put in my book, today is September the 12th. Mercury retrograde is in Libra. That was September. That was back in September of last year. Maybe it was pre-shadow. That's interesting. Anyway, I'm gonna have to write these down. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this was just past. I really should put a date on these things, but I don't. I just ramble. Planes flying over Iran. Has that happened? How long has the war been going on in Ukraine? Because I put in my book 3 years and 3 months in terms of how long this may go on. 3 years, 3 months. I put concentration camps. What the hell do I be writing? Okay. Anyway, Roberta, you want to know any threat from Russia due to NATO? Okay, that's a good question. Interesting. Okay. Any threats from Russia? Okay. Are Russia and Turkey working together? I mean, is that even a thing? Let's take a look. Well, 2022. Okay, I hope it don't last 3 years and 3 months, because that's a long time to be, in terms of it like being completely done. That's way too long. But then again, it's going to be coming up on a year soon. So I don't know if it's a stop and a start back up type of thing. I didn't really check, but I wrote it down in my book. But anyway, so to answer your question, if Russia is a threat to the U.S. Okay. Man, you guys remember that Brittany Griner video that I did? Did I pull tarot cards? Remember I said I had a feeling that Biden may possibly struck some sort of deal when it pertains to Russia, when it comes to Russia, outside of them trading arms dealer. The cards are saying that the United States and Russia are in some sort of commitment to one another. So the cards are saying, in terms of, does Russia pose a threat like to us right now? The energy, well, to the US is saying no. Because there's been some sort of meeting, there's been some sort of communication, there's been something. Okay. Yeah. Even maybe in some sort of manner, Russia even possibly tries to pretend like it has a problem with us, but they really don't have a problem, because, like I said, it feels like some sort of commitment or something was made. We got a lot of money. If they're trying to claim that they're broke, oh no, they're not broke. But also, they're very big-headed, so they're not willing to let this go. It's almost like, I'm not going to let it go until everybody surrenders. See, the only way that Russia will give us a problem is if whatever this agreement is broken, which it may possibly be broken in the future if there is a change of power. If there's a change of power, somebody's going to renege on the deal. Remember, I talked about this already with Joe Biden. I mean, I hate to say it, you got to watch that one. So in a way, even though I haven't really pulled the cards on how Putin felt about Trump, okay? I haven't pulled the cards on that. I didn't get around to it. But there is trafficking going on, by the way. Russia is doing it. But countries are turning the other way, even though they see them doing it. It's like they see them carrying the women on their back. They see it. They see them doing it, but they're not intervening. Very cruel world, I kind of said that anyway. So right now they got a lot of money, but money, there will be a loss or a forfeiture or something like that, I feel like, coming in the future. Could be 4 years, but right now they're fine. 3 to 4 years. Okay. I wonder is Vladimir, is he married? I don't know is he married? If he's not married, I think he might get married. Let me check. I wonder, is he married? I think I heard them say he had a baby, man, by some Russian. Nope, he's divorced. I think they said he had a baby by oh, never mind, he's not divorced. Who is this other woman? What is going on? Is the man married or not? I think he's divorced. Jesus, I hate going to Google sometimes. But anyway, I think I read something in the news where they said that allegedly Putin had a secret baby by one of those young girls who was on the Russian team. Like she was like a ballet or ballerina, or she was figure skating. She could be probably about maybe 22, something like that, maybe a little bit older. When the hell is China not a problem for the U.S., if we're going to be honest? Thank you, D. I knew it was one of those. I think they said he got like a love child or something like that. But like I said, he may possibly get married. See, somebody saying divorce, then somebody came in and said he's married. He's married with a girlfriend. Now, well, his ex-wife got remarried. I see that, but let me see if it's on here. Sometimes it is. Spouse? No, it still says he's divorced, so I don't know. Maybe he did get married. I don't know. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, China. When is China not a problem for the United States, if we're gonna be honest? Even though most of our exports come from over there. Or imports, excuse me. Import, export, whatever. One of the two. You know what I'm saying. Imports. It's probably imports. I'm trying to think too fast. Ooh, okay, this one fell in my lap. Oh, yes. The cards came right out and said yes, especially whenever it pertains to trade. Actually, there possibly is going to be some sort of trade deal that China is going to end with the U.S. in less than 10 months or no longer than 2 years. Yeah. Because China is coming out as a death card. So, yes, there is some sort of deal that is going to end. Yeah, there's competition. It's like somebody is giving China a better deal. It could be maybe when it pertains to, I guess if they are like, if there's a percentage of something that goes somewhere, it's like there's competition here between China and the United States, even though these jokers are working together. But I'm gonna say I hate to say it, but the United States is like that obsessive girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Or the United States is like that person that you struggle to break up with because they still bring their ass around. It's like, damn, I thought I got rid of you, but they still come. So that makes it difficult in a way for you to completely let go of a deal when it comes to the U.S. because they start snooping. So is China a threat to the U.S.? The answer is yes, but not right now. This is like 2 decades from now. So, I would be much older. So like maybe 20 years from now will be a real problem. Roberta, yeah, I don't know. They may be referring to his ex-wife, but I'm not gonna put it past him. I said I feel like he may be getting married. Okay. Okay. Oh, ain't that about nothing? Putin allegedly has a teenage daughter and they froze her and the mistress's assets. I ain't surprised. If that's the case, I ain't surprised. Somebody asked a question about Putin. Oh, Christine, it was you. You said, do I see Putin going underground? Okay. Let me see. What is his birthday? Is he a Virgo? Excuse me. No, he's a Libra, I think. Is he? Yes, he's October the 7th. Oh, he's moon ruled kinda because his birthday is a number 7, so he's tied to the moon. I wonder what his moon sign is in. Maybe Aries. He seems too trigger happy. Okay, maybe Aries or maybe Capricorn. or Aquarius. We'll see. All right. Can you get the... He's in a relationship. That's for sure. He does have a daughter. She's quite young. I'm getting 11 or 13. Okay. Mr. Putin. I'm talking about the dictator, Russia. But the thing is, Putin doesn't love anybody. The energy is coming through. He's he may be kind of narcissistic when it possibly pertains to women. He is delusional. I think he actually may be taking some sort of sleeping pill or some sort of sleeping aid, but it may be having like an adverse effect on him in a negative way, and he doesn't necessarily see it. Okay, but also it seems like, I don't know if his face is getting more puffy, but it seems like also his body is not getting rid of the water. It's like retaining the water in some sort of a manner. Hopefully he's not taking some type of dietary or water pills or something like that that is not approved, that has not been tested, and this could be killing him maybe. Or it could be from the Botox, because I think Putin has had Botox. I feel it for some reason. Guys, I don't know if this guy has much longer in terms of like a ruler. I think he's kind of done, honestly. It feels like Putin right now is in an energy where he wants to be in a relationship. Oh, no wonder. It's almost like he don't give a damn. It's like, hey, if we have to completely deplete our resources to go to war, screw it. I don't care. Yeah, he might be getting close to being done, because it seems like now he wants like love in his life. But at the same time, I feel he may be incapable of giving love to people. It's sad. It really is sad. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think he is healthy, honestly. I don't think he's healthy. This isn't the second time he's went to war with Ukraine. I mean, this isn't the first time he's went to war with Ukraine, is it? Because that's what I'm getting in the cards. It's not the first time. Like 2000 and maybe, hold on now. Maybe before 2010, 2007, 8, 9, or 13. I don't know if he tried to go to war with them during that time. But this is not the first time. But he's coming through as a strength card, definitely in reverse. So there's a weakness. 4 of Cups. There's a word I'm getting, and I'm going to have to look it up. Sadly, he does have kids, but he's not a good father. He's very, very detached. No, that's not it. Okay, it's possible, is my opinion. Again, I'm not saying that he is I'm not saying that, I'm an expert on this. I'm actually getting fibrosis. Could be, pulmonary, could be maybe of the liver, but I'm getting fibrosis. So it does seem like that he actually may be ill. Let me see if I can get, yeah, it's like he's not comfortable or something like that. You know what? A lot of these people that I be pulling energy on, they really do not take care of their health, especially when it comes to like UTIs or something like that. Like, why are you not taking care of that? That's like it's like, yeah, it's like you're oversexed and you just don't even care about making sure that you're good until it's too late. Oh, I'm learning something new. Once again, I did not know that a bad liver will bloat your face. I had no idea. Well, isn't he technically kind of already king? Technically. Roberta, maybe. I don't know. I did write something about Iran in my book. If Iran makes a deal, it's because somebody is threatening them in their like airspace, so they may not really have a choice. Okay. Charles, will his coronation happen? I said that before. Charles doesn't really want to be king. He just wants the money. He wants the money that comes with being a king. He don't really want to be an actual king. That's not really what he wanted to do. But I said before that I think his mom passed way sooner than they were expecting. So that stuff wasn't able to put into place, because I don't know if they have to, gather parliament or anything like that to vote if it's okay for, maybe William or somebody like that to take over the throne. I don't think that they got a chance to do that, Let's see. I mean, I don't see why not, but I guess we'll look. The poor guy has stage fright. It's kind of weird. How could you have stage fright? And you've pretty much been like a prince for Lord knows how long. But I see he has stage fright. Okay. I get a yes, but I really don't know how long Charles is going to be on the throne. He has the Ace of Pentacles and he has the Ace of Swords, so he's going through a transition, or he will go through a transition. At some point, definitely. I think Charles has a daughter. Yes, I do, and she's pretty old. How old is what's his name? Hold on, let me do the math now. Let's see. How old is King Charles? He's 74. Okay, hold on. Where's my other calculator? Where is it? What the heck? Did I delete it? Maybe I did. So he could have possibly had a child when he was 40. Another child. Seems like a daughter to me. That's what I'm getting. But Charles being king is bad for the UK because it's money over everything, honestly. But I do get a yes. So it seems like his coronation, it seems like it's going to go through. What I'm seeing here. But I don't necessarily think it's going to last super long. Charles has heart issues. No. Excuse me, not heart. Skin. Skin is the issue. What was it? What are we talking about? Whose birth astrologer? His birth astrologer said he wouldn't. Diana's astrologer said the same thing. Well, it's coming up fast, isn't it? I don't even know when his coronation is. It's coming up in. Well, you know what? Let's go pull a chart because I could be wrong. Okay, hold on. No, whatever. I could be wrong. Let me see if the chart is going to say the same thing. I'm going to turn this screen off for just a second so I can put in this information. When is his coronation? I have no idea. Because the chart may say something different, even though my cards are saying, looks he's going to. But I don't know how we're gonna do this one. Maybe I have to look at the sun and see if he's making a contact with the sun, since sun rules king, so that would probably make sense. What's today? Today the 18th or is it still the 17th? It's 18th. Oh, it's a Mars day. I mean, it's not a Mars day. It's a Sunday. Let's see. Nope. 12 midnight. Let's take a look. I'll have to look at the sun and see if he's making any contact. Okay, ascendant, late degrees Virgo. So the answer has already been determined before I even pull up the chart. The answer is already out there. So we'll see exactly what that answer is. I can't believe you guys are still up. All right. He is hold on, let me show you. Charles in this chart is signified by Jupiter. Yes, it is, Lisa. You already know how I'm coming on this side of the world. It definitely is way too early. Let somebody else do it, and you deal with them. Okay, I ain't gonna deal with them. There was somebody else that I wanted to talk about who passed away. It's escaping my mind. I don't know. Oh, I think I said something about Michael Jackson, didn't I? But do I really want to go there? Because I don't know, man. I know. I think they said the FBI didn't find anything. I don't know, Jack. But anyway, let's save that for another day. All right. So here's the chart. So again, it's a late ascendant. Okay. Same thing as I've explained before. I take the first house, which I'm Mercury in Capricorn. So my mind ain't going to change, by the way. And he would be signified by Jupiter, Pisces. He's at home in his sign. He does have Chiron sitting in his 7th house. So with Chiron being in his house in a like the red, it's like he's overheating or there's something, because Chiron can represent the wounded healer. Okay, so the 7th house is also a public house. So publicly, there could be people saying that there's something that he needs to heal when it pertains to himself. Okay. So I don't know if he's quite red or he's coming across quite red. There's something there, and the public notice of that. Okay. So yes, but okay. Lisa might be possibly right. I could be wrong. Okay. Well, since Sun rules kings, okay, with him being in Jupiter, now he's on a very karmic degree, so his ego is definitely out there. But he's squaring the signifier of kings, which is the sun, in Sagittarius. So, Lisa, you may be right. This may possibly be a no. So, could be right. Sagittarius is shifty in a way because it's mutable. Okay. It's, I don't know. He really is not feeling very hot about this coronation anyway. Okay. And it looks like the sun is moving into the 4th. Somebody's trying to take him out. And I will leave it at that. Somebody in his family is trying to move him out the way. I didn't try to make it into a song or a jingle, but his 4th house is packed. Packed. But it's just my opinion. It would probably be his son. I think Charles wants to give it to his son, but I already kind of said that I don't think they had enough time to do whatever they needed to do in order to give it away to somebody else. So Lisa, you may be right. We'll just have to play this one by ear. It's already determined. So I guess we'll just have to see. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Hold on. He's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5th house. 5th from Jupiter will lead us to Cancer. The moon is in the 1st house in Gemini. Even the moon's not making any aspects to him. So yeah, maybe it is a no. We'll have to see. I do feel like somebody is trying to take him out. I really do. It's like kind of coming across that way. Kind of like move out the way. Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. My mind isn't changing. I think yes, but the chart is saying no. So we'll have to play this one by ear. But I don't really think that even Charles is really feeling very ecstatic about it, to be honest. I think even he wants to get out of it, but I don't think he'll be able to. I just don't think he'll be able to. Because hold on, what's the 26th degree of the sun? It's like not trying to take him out in terms of like, ba-boom, not like that. It gives me more so like somebody trying to coerce him. Like, you don't need to be doing that, right? Your tooth, you have this going on. You really don't need to stress yourself. It's very manipulative, but they're trying to convince him like, you know what, you don't really need to do this. Maybe you should, let whoever take over. Is very manipulative. Okay. 26 degrees of Sagittarius is pioneer, creative. Unless he's gonna do something different, which he may, because 26 degree is a degree of creativity. It kind of comes across like you gonna change the game in some sort of manner. So we may have to play this one by ear, because maybe Charles is gonna shock us and he's gonna do something that we may not necessarily be expecting. We'll be watching. I won't be watching, but you guys will probably be watching for me. So that'll be interesting. Facts. I'm ready to retire. I don't want to be starting run a country at damn near 80. Hang it up. I'm sorry. I'd rather, if I'm old, and have the money he has, I'd rather be on a golf course or playing, I don't know, chess or something like badminton. I don't know, shoots and ladders. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be running the country. No, I'm going to be late for my afternoon massage. I don't want to be running the country. That's just me. So he might shock us. He may throw a haymaker in there. We're just going to have to see. Okay. May the 6th. Okay. Thank you. For some reason, I thought it was going to be in February. But either way, okay, guys, it's been almost 2 hours. I can't even believe I stayed on here for 2 hours. I appreciate all you guys for sticking around, hanging around, listening to me ramble and us talk about some good stuff. Of course, this live will stay up so you guys can go back and watch it if you want to, in case you missed something. And I will see you guys later on.